Snark Squad. Babes,
Yeah.
let me tell you, the wine flowing,
Oh, absolutely filling.
the
Oh.
vibes, sweet, bunny ears firmly on.
Because, babes, we are fully committed to the aesthetic today.
We really are. And we are here. It is Friday afternoon. The weather is finally getting warm.
Thank God.
Right, windows are open, and we just have that sweet, chaotic energy buzzing through the room right now.
We so do. And for anyone wondering, yes, there is a completely fresh plate of mini egg brownies on deck.
Oh my God, the brownies.
They are fudgy, they are dense, they have the perfect candy crunch, and honestly, they are absolutely necessary for the psychological warfare we are about to unpack today.
They are a literal survival mechanism at this point.
Yeah.
Because Dave's, we just got back from Easter dinner
Oh,
at your mom's house.
the Lord.
And, wow. Just wow. It was a shit show.
It was a spectacular burn the house down shit show. The kind of dinner where you just sit back, sip your drink, and just marvel at the collapse of civilized society.
I am fully still reliving it emotionally. Like, my heart rate is legitimately still elevated.
Breathe. Just breathe.
I'm trying. But babes, if you were a fly on the wall in that dining room, you would need immediate intensive therapy. The tension was so thick you could physically cut it with the butter knife.
Oh, the passive-aggressive compliments about the side dishes were iconic, though. Terrifying, but iconic.
So terrifying. It was all like, oh, you use canned green beans. How retro and brave of you.
Right. And the drama over the seating arrangement.
Yes. Someone got actively, visibly emotional over the slicing of the ham. The ham.
I mean, the ham is a sensitive subject, apparently.
And then there was that one horrifying moment. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Now we know. I know.
The moment where someone brought up the taboo subject and the entire table of 15 people went dead, drop a pin silent.
Not a single sound.
All you could hear was the clinking of a single fork against a plate. I took a sip of wine so large I thought I was going to actually drown.
See, while you were internalizing the trauma and basically drowning in your Pinot Grigio, I was sitting back and clinically diagnosing the toxic family dynamics at play.
Of course you were.
I mean, it was a masterclass in psychological manipulation. When you look closely at the framing of that dinner table, you start to realize it operates on, like, manufactured scarcity.
Oh, totally. Wait, explain that to the babes.
So the host, the martyr of the family, creates this scenario where affection and approval are scarce resources. That is why the middle child acts out for attention by critiquing the ham glaze.
Wow. Yes.
It is classic triangulation. The unresolved generational trauma just manifests as hypercritical assessments of everyone's life choices, all masking their own profound insecurities.
It was basically a live-action Bravo reunion.
Exactly, but with pastel napkins and deviled eggs. And the whole time, the only thought playing on a loop in my head was, where were the cameras?
This should have been filmed. Andy Cohen needs to dispatch a field crew to your family holidays immediately.
He really does.
But honestly, as much as my nervous system is completely fried from that dinner, there's literally only one thing messier than what we just survived.
We need to talk about pumpkin.
We need to talk about Pumpkin. Because, babes, what is actually going on?
The absolute unmitigated spiral, the digital footprint she is leaving right now is staggering.
Yesterday, I am minding my own business, scrolling through my feed, and I click on Pumpkin's Instagram story. And suddenly, babes, I drop my phone onto the counter.
A literal jump scare.
Lewd videos. Highly, highly explicit videos just posted. Right there on the main story. For God, her entire extended family, and the thousands of people who follow her to see.
And we aren't talking about a little slip-up that was deleted in a panic 5 minutes later.
No.
That story was up for 19 hours. 19 hours on the main grid of a reality television personality.
19 hours. And then the follow-up stories. She claims her Instagram was, quote-unquote, hacked. Allegedly.
Oh, allegedly is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
She posts 4 different stories saying, guys, I got hacked. I'm trying to get back in. But she was claiming she got back into her account to post the apology stories, yet the explicit story stayed up the entire time. Make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Which is why we have to have a serious analytical debate about the mechanics of the situation.
Okay, let's do it.
Do we actually believe she was hacked by some random internet stranger who specifically wanted to post adult content on a WeTV Stars page? Or was this a highly calculated, albeit incredibly messy, strategic PR move?
Okay, see, this is where I've been spiraling. Because I am so confused, and part of me actually believes the chaos of the hack.
Really? You're buying it?
I mean, kinda. The online sleuths have been working absolute overtime on this. Let's look at the evidence they pulled. First of all, she posted it over on Facebook, which is notoriously harder to hack simultaneously.
Yeah.
That she was locked out of her Instagram.
Okay, sure.
Second, the link attached to the explicit video on her story didn't even go to Pumpkin's actual OnlyFans page. It went to some random, completely different paid site.
Right.
And the Reddit snarkers did a literal frame-by-frame forensic analysis, which God bless them for taking that on. And they pointed out that the woman in the video doesn't even have the same distinct tattoos as Pumpkin.
I saw that thread.
Plus, she uploaded a TikTok where she looked genuinely panicked, desperately defending herself, saying it wasn't her content and she was locked out. The sheer anxiety in her voice seemed real to me. Why would she direct traffic to a link that doesn't even pay her?
Oh, sweet, naive bestie.
What?
I'm going to have to firmly push back on this. You are looking at the micro details and missing the macroeconomics of the influencer grift.
Okay, hit me with it.
I am calling absolute BS. This has major, flashing, neon PR stunt energy.
That's the wrong link.
Let's address the link going to a different site. In the world of adult content creation, cross-promotion, and affiliate linking are massive revenue streams. You drive traffic to a partner site, you get a cut.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't think about that.
But more importantly, let's look at the behavioral timeline. Right after claiming she was quote-unquote hacked, supposedly getting control back, and posting those panicked apologies, what does she do?
Oh, God.
She posts more inappropriate stuff, just this time lightly covered by a little emoji. Think about the psychology here. If you are genuinely traumatized by a malicious hacker violating your digital privacy, your immediate reaction is not to follow it up with your own softcore teaser content. You go dark. You lock the page down.
Okay, when you put it like that, the immediate pivot back to posting her own explicit teasers is highly, highly suspicious.
Exactly. It is a classic, desperate algorithmic play. She understands the engagement economy, outrage, and shock value drive clicks.
It's all about the clicks.
She wants eyes on her page because she is in this hot and heavy honeymoon phase with her new guy, Darren.
The husband.
The husband, because the cousin-husband energy is incredibly strong with that one. And she is pushing at the OnlyFans gig from every possible angle to fund whatever lifestyle they are currently building. It's messy, chaotic advertising.
I cannot with that name. The Snark communities are too brilliant.
Yeah.
But okay, if she is pushing this OnlyFans grift so hard and using fake hacks to drive engagement, it brings us to a much darker question.
The main question.
What is Pumpkin actually spending her money on?
This is the core mystery of the season. Let's run the numbers because the economics of this family are baffling. Allegedly, from the television contracts alone, she is pulling in something like 20 grand a month.
20 grand.
And that is before brand deals, before TikTok creator fund money, and before whatever she's making from this OnlyFans hustle.
Which, by the way, Alana is apparently reposting and bragging about online,
Right.
adding a whole other layer of trauma to this dynamic.
Don't even get me started on that. But look, Pumpkin lives in a very low cost of living area in rural Georgia. She drives completely normal cars. And no offense, but the house she actually lives in,
Not the stage house.
right, not the pristine stage house they film the confessionals in, her real lived-in house looks like an absolute dump on the inside.
It's bad.
We see the backgrounds of her TikToks, the drywall, the clutter. She doesn't wear designer clothes. She doesn't take luxury vacations. So where is this massive, continuous influx of cash going?
I have been spiraling about this exact budget breakdown all morning. The chaotic theories in my head are endless.
Let's hear them.
Okay, let's really break down the lifestyle. She has 4 young kids of her own. Plus, Darren has kids. That is a small army of children to feed, clothe, and entertain.
Very true.
Have you seen grocery prices lately? Buying snacks and cereal for a blended family of that size is basically a second mortgage payment.
Yeah, groceries are insane right now.
Then you have school supplies. The endless menagerie of animals she keeps acquiring. Dogs, reptiles, whatever else is crawling around that house.
Yeah.
Veterinary bills are astronomical.
Okay, valid.
And we know, based on the receipts, that she is financially floating the husband. The online sleuths dug up the vehicle registrations and found out she allegedly bought Darren a brand new truck.
And a boat.
A literal boat. Who buys a depreciating watercraft when the interior of their home looked like a localized tornado hit it?
Literally no one with financial literacy.
And don't forget the tattoos. The constant, massive, full-color sleeve tattoos. Those run hundreds of dollars an hour. She is in the chair constantly.
Okay, I hear your breakdown, but I have to challenge the scale of those expenses. Yes, groceries for a blended family are expensive. Yes, a truck and a boat require monthly payments.
Right.
But groceries, boat financing, and even frequent tattoo sessions do not drain $20,000 a month in rural Georgia. You could do all of that on a fraction of her income.
So what are you saying?
We have to look at the dark, messy rumors that are circulating in the Snark communities, because they offer a much more cohesive explanation for a financial hemorrhage of this magnitude.
You mean the physical signs people are clipping from her live?
Exactly. You watch the unedited footage of her on TikTok Live, the constant erratic lip biting, the jaw movements, the twitchy, deeply chaotic, hyperverbal behavior.
It's hard to watch.
Add that physical presentation to the absolute financial black hole she seems to be living in, and it screams loudly of active addiction.
Wow.
Or if we want to be generous, she is entirely funding someone else's active addiction.
Oh, wow.
Sudden wealth syndrome, mixed with untreated generational trauma, often leads to these exact coping mechanisms. The math does not align with the visual reality of her home.
It is so dark. It's giving Mama June 2.0. And it breaks my heart because for years, the narrative of this show was that Pumpkin was the savior.
She was the responsible one.
Right. She was supposed to be the one breaking the cycle for those kids. She took Alana in. And now, to see her potentially falling into the exact same financial and behavioral sinkholes as her mother, wow.
It's a tragedy playing out in real time.
Okay, yes. For anyone listening, my wine glass is fully being refilled right now. The mini egg brownies. Also firmly on deck. I'm taking a massive bite right now.
Eat the brownie, you need it.
They are too good, and I need the dense sugar rush to cope with the reality of this family's financial choices. We might actually switch to coffee after this.
Whoa.
Because coffee and chocolate, elite combo for surviving reality TV trauma.
We are absolutely going to need the caffeine because we haven't even gotten to the actual events of this week's episode yet.
Oh my God, you're right. Babes, let's get into it. The recap. I was watching this hour of television through my fingers like it was a psychological horror movie.
Same.
We have to break down every single scene because the producer manipulation and the emotional warfare on display here is unparalleled. Let's start with the bridal shower setup.
The guest list from hell.
Truly, let's set the stage. Jessica and Cheyenne are having their bridal shower. It is supposed to be a beautiful, joyous, stress-free day celebrating their love and their upcoming wedding. It's a milestone moment.
Right, a normal family event.
And what does June do? The architect of chaos herself? She invites Josh, knowing full well that Pumpkin's new man, Darren, the husband, is going to be in attendance.
This is where I have to give a slow, deeply cynical clap for June's innate producing skills.
She is a menace.
June doesn't need the WeTV showrunners. She is basically self-producing her own reality franchise at this point. Let's dissect the motivation here. June did not invite Josh because she suddenly harbors a deep maternal care for his emotional well-being.
Obviously not.
She invited him to create an explosive, on-camera collision between the heartbroken ex-husband and the new affair partner. It is classic, manipulative, toxic reality TV producing.
So toxic.
The show thrives on confrontation. June orchestrated the entire powder keg while standing there pretending to just be an innocent, supportive mother of the bride who, quote-unquote, just wants everyone to get along. It's brilliant, but it's evil.
It was sickening to watch. I was physically vibrating with anxiety watching Josh and Darren inhabit the same backyard airspace. The tension was so thick you could choke on it.
You could.
You have Darren standing there looking painfully out of place, and Josh walks in. And babes, the raw, unfiltered emotion on Josh's face. You can tell he's utilizing every ounce of his willpower, just trying to survive the afternoon for Jessica's sake.
He really was trying.
He loves Jessica, and he showed up for her, fully knowing he was walking into a trap.
But we have to acknowledge that Josh gave us an absolutely iconic ice-cold reaction. He didn't give June the screaming match she desperately wanted for the cameras.
No, he handled it.
He utilized the immense power of stoicism. He walked right up, shook hands like a terrifyingly calm, polite gentleman, briefly acknowledged the wider group, and then pivoted to leave immediately.
I loved it.
But not before pulling Darren aside and delivering the line of the season. He looks Darren dead in the eyes and tells him straight to his face to stay the hell away from June as far as possible.
Chills. Literal chills running down my arms. Josh knows exactly who the puppet master is. He wasn't even mad at Darren in that specific moment. He was warning Darren about the monster pulling the strings.
Exactly.
But of course, the shower had to go on. And then we arrive at the presents.
The presents. I am bracing myself, physically clenching my jaw, just thinking about the gift opening.
Okay, so Alana couldn't be there because she is away at nursing school. She
Hmm.
sends a video message and a cute little candy cake.
Okay.
It's sweet, it's normal, it's exactly the kind of lighthearted gift a younger sister sends. The vibes are good. And then, it is June's turn to hand over her gift.
Yeah.
Babes, I need you to put yourself in Cheyenne's shoes. Imagine you are at a family party. Your aunts are there.
Yeah.
Your conservative future in-laws are there.
The in-laws.
And your mother-in-law, flanked by network camera crews, hands you a box. You open it, and it is a dual-action, rechargeable heat and vibrate sex toy.
And let's be perfectly clear about the execution. She didn't just give it to them quietly in a discreet bag and whisper a dirty joke.
Yep.
She pulls it out and starts waving the vibrator around in the air. She is actively demonstrating the vibration settings to the entire patio.
I started screaming at my television. Who waves a vibrator around at a family bridal shower? Cheyenne looked like she wanted the earth to physically open up and swallow her whole.
I felt so bad for her.
The sheer, radiating embarrassment on her face was painful to witness. And, babes, unfortunately, I relate to this dynamic on a deeply spiritual level.
Oh, here we go.
This is textbook, undeniable narcissistic mother behavior. They physically cannot handle a day, an event, or a milestone not being entirely centered around them.
Yep.
When I graduated college, my mom showed up to the ceremony wearing a stark, white, full-length lace gown to my graduation.
I will never forget that dress.
A dress that looked like a wedding gown. Why? Because she needed people in the audience to ask her why she was dressed like a bride. She needed the whispers.
It's the same mechanism.
Yes. June bringing a vibrator to the shower operates on the exact same psychological mechanism. It isn't about giving a fun gift. It is an attention vacuum. It is about shocking the room so violently that every single eyeball is forcefully diverted from the brides and locked directly onto Mama June.
Your graduation story is the perfect analogy, and you are spot on about the mechanics of the attention vacuum. It operates on the principle that to a narcissist, negative attention is still a perfectly valid form of currency.
Any attention is good attention.
To June, a room full of disgusted, cringing in-laws is a massive victory, because for those 5 minutes, nobody was looking at Jessica or Cheyenne. They were entirely focused on June's audacity.
That's so sad.
Cheyenne was mortified, retreating inward, but Jessica, bless her resilient heart, delivered the perfect deadpan breakdown of the moment. She just looks at this buzzing piece of silicone, looks at her mother and goes, "You can't make waffles with a vibrator.
Put that phrase on a t-shirt.
Hang it in the Louvre. Sell it on Etsy." It was the only sane, grounding response to an entirely insane situation.
It really was. It cut right through the tension. But of course, June wasn't done making the day a full-blown circus.
Yeah.
Because then we moved to the wider backyard shots, and she has rented a mechanical bowl
A mechanical bowl.
for a bridal shower. Why is there a robotic bowl next to the mimosa station?
Because it perfectly set the stage for the most bizarre, heavily produced, forced rivalry of the century, the Battle of the Mechanical Bowl. Trina versus June.
Oh my God, Trina. Trina is acting so incredibly high and mighty this entire hour. She's sitting there in her chair, arms crossed, judging every single breath June takes. And she actively comes for June's dress.
Which, okay, I admit was a profound sartorial choice.
It was definitely a choice.
Let's describe it accurately. It was a brightly colored dinosaur print dress that was tailored to look exactly like a vintage diner waitress uniform from a 1950s sci-fi movie. It was absurd.
It was so bad.
But Trina is laying her disgust on so thick, the performative judgment rolling off Trina is palpable through the screen.
It's so hypocritical. Trina is sitting there demanding that June watch her language in front of everyone. She is acting like this prim and proper, pearl-clutching Southern belle who has accidentally stumbled into a swamp and is horrified by the local fauna.
And then what does she do?
Literally 5 seconds later, Trina gets right on that mechanical bull to aggressively show June, quote, how a real mama rides. Straddling a mechanical bull, screaming at the crowd, and aggressively bucking around, all while judging someone else for being trashy. The complete lack of self-awareness is stunning.
Exactly. Let's break down Trina's role in this ecosystem. Trina is not some innocent, upper-crust bystander who tragically got dragged into the mud against her will.
No, she's not.
She signed a contract to appear on a reality television show. Trina is just as miserable, just as desperate for camera time, and just as thirsty for relevance as June is. The only difference is that Trina attempts to hide her thirst behind this incredibly fragile, fake moral high ground.
Right.
She reminds me so much of Jennifer. Do you remember her? The producers are using the exact same script for Trina. Trina complaining about June being unrefined while she aggressively rides a mechanical bull at a bridal shower is peak reality TV hypocrisy.
It is the definition of performative morality.
Yeah.
And speaking of reality crashing down, we have to pivot to the actual tragic news of the week. The mood shift in this show gave me whiplash. Jessica and Cheyenne's house caught fire.
Which is genuinely awful, terrifying news.
It's devastating. They lost so much of their life. Their entire house smells like toxic smoke. They are completely displaced, living out of a cramped hotel room and having to pay exorbitant out-of-pocket costs just to wash their surviving clothes at a public laundromat.
And right before their wedding, too.
Yes. They're bleeding money right before they are supposed to pay for their wedding. Now, thankfully, the fire department called and officially ruled out arson, which was a dark theory floating around for a minute.
Very dark.
But they are still displaced, traumatized, and vulnerable.
And this is where we analyze human behavior. How does a normal, loving, well-adjusted mother react to the news that her daughter's house has burned down? She pulls her daughter aside privately. She offers unwavering support, a quiet place to stay, and makes sure her child feels protected.
Exactly.
How does June react?
I wanted to throw my brownie directly at the TV screen. Instead of a private, supportive, motherly conversation, June waits until the entire bridal shower is gathered around the patio. She stands up, physically commands the attention of the crowd, and literally announces to everyone that Jessica and Cheyenne are moving in with her.
She didn't ask them.
She declared it. She forced them into a corner publicly, where declining would make them look ungrateful.
Because, fundamentally, it wasn't about helping Jessica. June explicitly told the producers in her isolated confessional interview that she is doing this to one-up Trina and to publicly claim the Mother of the Year crown.
Ugh, it makes me sick.
She is utilizing her own daughter's literal tragedy as a pawn in a petty, one-sided, manufactured reality TV rivalry. She saw a house fire and calculated how it could improve her Q rating.
The strings attached to this quote-unquote generous offer are visible from outer space. I was so deeply disgusted. Cut to them arriving at June's house. They are exhausted, carrying their surviving belongings in black plastic garbage bags. And June immediately hits them with the fine print.
Oh, the dreaded Sunday reset.
Yeah.
This is the moment the charitable mask fully slips off and the warden emerges. June informs these two grown women that if they are going to live under her roof, there is a strict, non-negotiable regime.
I couldn't believe my ears.
Mandatory Sunday vacuuming of the entire house, mandatory bathroom mopping, and June goes out of her way to specifically humiliate Cheyenne by calling her out for splattering the mirror.
So unnecessary.
And my personal favorite mechanism of control, mandatory laundry lessons. June is going to teach adult women how to properly wash their own clothes according to her standards.
June's standards. Let that sink in.
Right. Let's analyze the economics of this arrangement. She isn't giving them a safe haven. She is establishing a system of manufactured debt. She is charging them emotional rent. She wants live-in maids. She can hold psychologically hostage forever with the phrase, "But I put a roof over your head when you had nothing."
The emotional rent, that is exactly the phrase. It is indentured servitude disguised as maternal grace. Cheyenne looked like she was actively doing the math in her head, reconsidering the astronomical hotel bill.
I would choose the hotel.
Babes, I would rather sleep in the backseat of my car in a Walmart parking lot than be subjected to June's Sunday reset power trip.
It is financial and emotional abuse camouflaged as charity, designed specifically to extract compliance.
It really is, and it's exhausting to watch. Okay, I need a severe palate cleanser before we get back into the darkness. Let's completely change the tone for a second and talk about our shining star, our beacon of hope. Babes, Alana is thriving.
She really is the only cast member showing actual, measurable personal growth.
Seeing her at her nursing internship was the breath of fresh air this franchise desperately needed. She is physically far away from the Georgia swamp. She is at a legitimate birthing center wearing scrubs and literally spinning human blood in centrifuges. She is doing the science.
I was so proud of her.
And we find out she made the dean's list, a 3.75 GPA. You can see the genuine earned pride beaming out of her face. She is putting in the grueling work and doing the damn thing.
She is actively breaking the generational curse. She is building a marketable skill set that doesn't rely on screaming at her relatives on camera, and it is beautiful to watch.
It really is.
But because we are analyzing the full scope of the narrative, we have to point out the deeply tragic undertone of her storyline. She is achieving all these incredible, life-altering milestones. The Dean's List ceremony is rapidly approaching, but she is heartbroken.
Oh, that scene.
There is a scene where she is sitting in that sterile supply closet, quietly stocking shelves, and telling Pumpkin over the phone that Josh hasn't reached out to her at all.
That scene broke me. My heart ached for her. Josh was her father figure. He essentially raised her, fed her, and housed her during June's darkest, most chaotic addiction years when she had literally no one else.
He was the only stable adult.
And now, crickets. Absolute silence. He hasn't asked about her nursing classes. He hasn't asked about her life in college. She's achieving her wildest dreams. And the dad she specifically chose to rely on is ghosting her.
Which perfectly sets up the most infuriating, psychologically complex scene of the entire broadcast. The crepes confrontation.
Oh my God. My blood pressure is rising just recalling it. Pumpkin calls Josh and formally demands a sit-down at a restaurant. First of all, the visual composition of this scene is pure high-camp comedy, wrapped in devastating tragedy.
It really is.
Pumpkin is sitting there, casually ordering a delicate plate of crepes and a massive structural burrito, while calmly preparing to verbally execute her ex-husband.
The visual juxtaposition of her tackling this giant, messy burrito while delivering utter emotional devastation to the man she left is high art. It is a masterclass in detached cruelty.
I felt physically pained watching Josh in this scene. You can see the profound toll the last year has taken on his body, the dark, heavy bags under his eyes, the slump of his shoulders, the raw, unfiltered, agonizing pain in his voice.
He looks destroyed.
He looks across the table at Pumpkin, the woman who cheating on him left him and immediately replaced him, and he says, "I have not healed or moved on like you have. I sulk misery 237.
That line.
Babes, I had to pause and rewind that. I sulk misery 24/7. That is not a line fed to him by a story producer. That is not scripted reality TV dialogue. That is the haunting sound of a genuinely broken heart.
And how does Pumpkin react to her ex-husband actively bleeding out emotionally across the table with absolute unyielding coldness?
Cold as ice.
My analytical theory peaked during this exchange because Pumpkin's sheer audacity is unmatched in reality television. She sits there, chewing her food, and coldly, methodically demands that Josh start being, quote, cordial to Darren.
I couldn't believe it.
Let's review the factual tape of this relationship. Pumpkin cheated on Josh. Pumpkin unilaterally blew up their marriage. Pumpkin created, in Josh's exact painful words, a whole nother family.
Yep.
And now she has the nerve to be annoyed that Josh isn't happily playing nice and being best buddies with the man she replaced him with. The complete and total lack of empathy is staggering.
It is sociopathic behavior. She looks at him and tells him that his anger is the problem. How on earth is he supposed to not be angry? Which brings us to the most massive, mind-blowing, earth-shattering pivot of the week.
Here we go.
Because while we were watching Josh ignore Alana's calls, I kept screaming at the TV. Why is Josh punishing Alana? She's just a kid in college. She didn't cheat on him. Why cut her off entirely?
And this, my friends, is where we pull out the receipts. This is where the narrative presented on television fractures completely. This is the Reddit tea that completely retroactively recontextualizes the entire season and every interaction we just watched.
It changes everything.
This changes absolutely everything we thought we knew about the internal dynamics of this family.
Babes, brace yourselves. If you're driving right now, pull over, put the car in park.
So we all know the public narrative. Pumpkin left Josh for Darren. But what the online sleuths uncovered through meticulous cross-referencing of social media timelines is that before Darren, there was someone else. Pumpkin had a girlfriend named Cara. And Cara recently took to the internet and spilled her absolute guts to the Snark communities. She dropped nuclear, relationship-destroying bombs.
Nuclear. Devastating.
Cara revealed that her romantic relationship with Pumpkin wasn't some hidden, secret affair taking place in the shadows of cheap motels. The entire family knew.
That's the crazy part.
And it gets so much worse. Cara revealed that on the day Pumpkin officially asked Cara to be her girlfriend, keeping in mind, Pumpkin is still fully legally married to Josh. And living with him at this point, Alana, Jessica, and even toddler Ella helped decorate the bedroom to celebrate the affair.
I can't even.
And not just any random guest room. They decorated Pumpkin and Josh's marital bed with rose petals and signs.
I am spiraling all over again just hearing it spoken out loud. Alana knew. Jessica knew. They actively participated in decorating the bed, the exact bed Josh slept in every single night.
Yes. The mechanics of the betrayal are staggering. Cara's mother eventually felt so guilty that she reached out and told Josh the absolute truth. So I need you to put yourself in Josh's shoes for a second and analyze the psychology of his current isolation. You don't just log on and find out your wife is having an affair. You find out that your sister-in-law, Jessica, who is your peer, knew and facilitated it.
Right.
And far, far worse, you find out that Alana, the teenager you practically raised as your own daughter, who you fed and housed and protected when her own mother abandoned her for a casino, conspired with your wife to cover up the infidelity. And she did it inside the walls of your own house.
It is the ultimate profound betrayal. It completely explains everything. No wonder Josh is ghosting Alana. He must feel completely surrounded by a den of snakes.
Absolutely.
He gave a decade of his life, his youth, and his financial stability to that family, and they all plotted behind his back, giggling while celebrating the destruction of his marriage in his own home.
Exactly. The
Oh.
consensus online has violently shifted because of this revelation. So with this new, devastating information coming to light, we have to officially declare where our analysis lands. Are we defending the husband and Pumpkin's new life, or are we aligned with Josh?
Is that even a debate at this point? The online consensus heavily favors Josh, and I am right there with them. My opinion has solidified into absolute concrete.
Same.
Pumpkin is the toxic, radioactive core of this family. We spent years as an audience blaming June for every single dysfunction, but Pumpkin watched, learned every single manipulative trick in June's playbook, and then weaponized those exact tactics against her own loyal husband. She even manipulated young Alana into being an active accomplice in her deceit.
The parallels are undeniable. Pumpkin is seamlessly repeating the cycle of intergenerational trauma and dragging everyone else down into the mud with her. Which brings us to evaluating who is driving the chaos this week. Segment 1, Hot Mess Express.
Yes, coming off the realization of how deep and systemic Pumpkin's manipulation actually goes, we have to look at who is fully, undeniably off the rails right now. Babes, who is conducting the train of absolute disaster.
I think we have two very strong contenders for peak chaos this week, and we need to debate their respective impact. Contender number 1 is obviously Pumpkin.
I will fiercely argue for Pumpkin being the primary architect of the disaster. Look at the sheer volume of evidence from just the last 48 hours. From the highly explicit, unhinged Instagram videos that stayed up for nearly a full day, to the alleged OnlyFans grifting under the transparent guise of being hacked, to the sheer financial black hole she seems to be living in while driving a new boat.
It's a lot.
But then you add in the sociopathic on-screen behavior. Sitting across from her broken ex-husband, chewing on a burrito, and coldly demanding he respect the man she cheated on him with. The complete, terrifying lack of accountability. Pumpkin is fully, completely off the rails. She has lost the plot of reality.
Your argument is incredibly solid, and the evidence is damning. But let me present the case for contender number 2, Mama June.
Okay, let's hear it.
June's right beside her, shoveling coal into the engine of this disaster. Think about the mechanics of the bridal shower. You bring a rechargeable vibrator to a family event where conservative future in-laws are present, simply because your ego cannot withstand not being the center of attention for 3 hours. Then your daughter's house burns down, a legitimate life-altering tragedy. And instead of mothering her, you calculate the PR angles. You use her displacement as a pawn in a manufactured petty rivalry with Trina, just so you can claim you are the magnanimous Mother of the Year on television.
Overdrive.
Then you implement the draconian Sunday reset to hold them psychologically hostage for daring to need help. That is peak, villainous, Machiavellian reality TV behavior.
When you list it out like that.
Ew.
June weaponizing a literal house fire for screen time is pretty hard to top in the depravity rankings.
So how do we evaluate this? Who wins?
Honestly, I think the only fair assessment is that it is a mother-daughter tie.
I agree.
They're two sides of the exact same chaotic, destructive coin. Pumpkin is just the modern, digital iteration of June. They both manipulate the people who love and rely on them for their own financial and ego-driven gain. They are co-captains steering this family directly into an iceberg.
A completely accurate ruling, which forces us to look at the collateral damage. Segment 2, sympathy or side-eye. If June and Pumpkin are the architects of the misery, who are the genuine victims and who are just the annoying bystanders making everything worse?
Okay, looking at who deserves our empathy right now, I am pouring out every single ounce of my sympathy for Josh. That scene at the boxing gym,
Oof.
when he is hitting the heavy bag, talking to his coach, and his voice visibly cracks as he talks about how the last year of his life broke him down to his foundation. Babes, I was legitimately tearing up.
It was incredibly sad.
He lost his wife, He lost his house, he lost his daily consistent life with his children, and he lost his entire chosen family because they all systematically betrayed him.
Yeah.
He's just the guy trying to survive the nuclear wreckage that Pumpkin detonated in his living room.
I am absolutely right there with you on Josh. The online consensus is rallying around him for a reason, but I am going to challenge you slightly and add a layer of sympathy for Alana.
Really? Even after the bed decorating tea? Even after she giggled while helping cover up the affair?
Hear me out, because we have to look at the power dynamics at play. Alana was 14 years old when Pumpkin dragged her into that cheating cover-up. 14.
Okay, true.
Pumpkin wasn't just her sister. Pumpkin was her legal guardian, her provider, the only stable adult in her life after June abandoned them. Alana did not have the emotional maturity, the agency, or the structural power to say no to Pumpkin.
I didn't think about it like that.
She was groomed into keeping those secrets to maintain her own housing security. And now she is out in the real world trying desperately to break the generational curse. She is on the dean's list, she is interning at a breathing center, but she is collateral damage in Pumpkin's mess.
Oh.
She lost Josh, the only protective father figure she ever knew, because of her sister's toxic choices. That power imbalance deserves our sympathy.
Okay, that is a really valid psychological point. You actually changed my mind on that. She was a child navigating an impossible loyalty test. She's trying to escape the swamp. But now we must pivot to the judgment, because I have a massive amount of side-eye to distribute.
Oh, I am giving the ultimate withering side-eye of the century directly to Trina.
Yeah.
Trina, babes, I need you to look around at your surroundings. You are on a WeTV reality show called Mama June, Family Crisis. Stop acting like you are ethically or socially above the swamp water you are currently actively swimming in for a paycheck.
Exactly.
You cannot haughtily demand someone watch their language and then aggressively dry hump a mechanical robotic bull 5 seconds later. The superiority complex is exhausting, transparent, and entirely fake.
So fake. And my side-eye goes directly to Jessica and Cheyenne. Babes, why are you even entertaining the idea of moving into June's house?
Why?
You know exactly who she is. You know exactly how she operates. When she stood up and announced it at the shower to trap you, you should have just smiled and said, "Thanks for the offer, but we have it handled."
Yeah.
Just sleep in your cars, babes. Sleep in a pop-up tent in the woods. It is significantly safer for your long-term mental health and your relationship than agreeing to the soul-crushing terms of the Sunday reset.
They walked willingly right into the steel trap. Which leads us to the broader question of the production itself. Segment 3. Real or performing? With all of this absolute chaos playing out, we have to analyze what is actually authentic human emotion and what is just producer manipulation and storyboarded script reading.
I am dying to hear your analytical breakdown of this because my radar is spinning. What the specific elements felt completely staged to you?
The entire Trina versus June rivalry is 100% manufactured garbage, and I have the online receipts to prove the mechanics of it.
I knew it.
Fans literally found TikToks of June and Trina happily hanging out together in Panama City Beach, doing trendy dances, drinking, and laughing like old friends.
No way.
Yes. The deep disgust Trina is projecting on the show. It is a fully scripted, storyboarded WWE-style storyline. The producers sat in a room, realized they didn't have Jennifer around to be June's foil anymore, so they explicitly cast Trina in the role of the snooty rival. Every glare, every insult, it is entirely performed for the cameras.
The vibe was completely off. And I will add to that evidence. The mechanical bull was absolutely a producer plant.
Oh, without a doubt.
There was no universe, no logical timeline where June organically woke up and thought, you know what this elegant bridal shower needs? A giant, violently thrashing robotic bull in the backyard? Reality TV productions have prop budgets.
Yep.
The producers rented and paid for that bull specifically to manufacture a physical comedy moment and to force Trina and June into a ridiculous, highly visual competition. It was completely staged to generate a promotional clip for the commercials.
Spot on. That is exactly how beat sheets work in reality TV. But amidst all the fake, scripted, mechanical bull nonsense, what actually broke through and felt genuine to you?
Josh and the crepe restaurant. That agonizing conversation cannot be faked. Josh is simply not a good enough actor to fake the heavy bruised bags under his eyes, the utter defeat in his posture, and the raw, involuntary quiver in his voice when he said he sulks in misery.
It was so real.
That was real, unadulterated, devastating heartbreak caught on camera. It was actually uncomfortable to watch because it was so palpably real.
I completely agree. The pain was radiating off him. And on a lighter note, I think Alana's pride in her 3.75 GPA is absolutely wonderfully genuine.
Yes.
When she was scrolling on her phone looking up her name on the dean's list, the way her smile reached her eyes was real. She wants a legitimate career far away from the blinding lights of the reality TV cameras, and she is actually sitting down and doing the grueling academic work to get there. The sharp contrast between her real, quiet ambition and the loud, fake reality TV drama swirling around her is Snark.
Which means we are heading into some seriously dark, heavy emotional territory in the next hour of this show. Segment 4, Next Torment, Episode Chaos. Looking ahead at the fallout of these forced living arrangements and deeply broken relationships, what are your predictions for next week's chaos?
Oh, based on the behavioral patterns we've analyzed, we are headed for a nuclear detonation over this Sunday reset.
A massive, house-shaking blow-up. I predict a screaming throwdown fight between June and Jessica within the first 48 hours of them moving their garbage bags in.
Yep, it's inevitable.
Cheyenne is already utterly miserable. She is a newlywed whose home and possessions just literally went up in flames, and now she is being sternly lectured on how to mop a bathroom by Mama June. Cheyenne is going to snap under the pressure.
She's going to lose it.
She is going to pack the surviving bags, scream at June about the emotional rent, and storm out of that house.
I predict that exact timeline, too. The pressure cooker is going to explode. But I also predict a really heartbreaking, quiet, emotional moment.
The Dean's List ceremony.
Oh, yes. We know she desperately wants Josh there to validate her hard work. But my prediction, based on his isolation, Josh is going to ghost.
Oh, no.
He is not going to show up to the auditorium. Alana is going to cry on camera, fully realizing that the foundational relationship of her childhood is truly irreparably broken, and the worst, most cynical part.
Don't tell me.
I predict Pumpkin will seamlessly use that moment of vulnerability to further alienate Josh. She will put her arm around a crying Alana and say, see, he doesn't care about your achievements. We're all you need. Stick with me. She will spin Josh's devastating pain into manufactured proof that he is the bad guy, solidifying her control over her sister.
Oh my God, that is so incredibly dark. But logically, it is so accurate to how Pumpkin operates. She is going to weaponize Josh's absence to build a wall around Alana. I'm already stressed about watching it unfold next Friday.
We are absolutely going to need more wine. And definitely another batch of brownies.
Truer words have never been spoken. Well, babes, the wine is still flowing. The mini egg brownies have been absolutely comprehensively demolished.
Gone.
The Easter dinner chaos has been survived, analyzed, and categorized, and the Mama June mess has been thoroughly, painstakingly processed.
We made it through the swamp for another week. But before we log off, we have to turn the mic over and ask the Snark Squad the hard questions. Are you watching the show? What are your thoughts on Pumpkin's absolute financial mystery and emotional spiral? Do you agree with the consensus that she is the true villain of the season?
And babes, the most important, pressing question of all. Do you think that OnlyFans account was really hacked by a malicious stranger? Or was it the messiest, most chaotic, unhinged PR stunt of 2026?
We need to know.
Jump into our DMs and let us know your intricate theories, because I know you guys have saved receipts and screenshots we haven't even seen yet.
And while you're at it, a quick reminder of some housekeeping. Please take 2 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. It feeds the algorithmic gods, keeps us motivated, and helps us keep these wine glasses full while we analyze the madness.
And please, send your own traumatic, triangulated Easter dinner submissions to our DMs. We want to hear exactly who cried over the sliced ham at your house and what your aunt said about your life choices.
Send them all.
And send this discussion to your messiest bestie so you can violently debate the Cusbin versus Josh drama in your group chats all weekend.
Thank you to the Snark Squad for spiraling with us today. We love you, we appreciate your detective work, and we promise we will never, ever judge your reality TV viewing habits.
Never ever. Stay shady.
Stay iconic.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.